Examination Board is all set to conduct the Grade 11 and Grade 12 exams. Educationists and health experts are totally against conducting the exams that had remained postponed since last April amid the pandemic. Even as the Examination Board has cited the compulsion, the general feeling is that in today's world of ultra-modern technology, there was no need to make the students physically present amid the rising threat of coronavirus. Good morning, I'm Sarah Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. Disputes flare up between two factions of the ruling NCP at the public program in Chitwan. Party Vice Chairman Bamdev Gautam says party split a normal process. 1,674 new cases of COVID-19 confirmed in the country yesterday. The National Education Board decides to conduct final exams of grades 11 and 12 amid the coronavirus crisis. Transporters adopting various new ways of adulteration and stealing of petroleum products. Irregularities on the rise due to NOC's weak monitoring. And Daniil Medvedev and Dominic Thiem set up title clash as Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic crash out of ATP finals. Vice Chairman of the ruling Nepal Communist Party, Bamdev Gautam, has said that even if the party splits, it should be considered a normal procedure. Addressing a gathering of party leaders and cadres at Tulsipur sub-metropolis in Dang yesterday, Vice Chairman Gautam stated that the intra-party dispute has surfaced due to the reluctance in implementing the agreement reached during party unification. Leader Gautam added that the existing problems would only end if the leaders maintained a clean image. Leader Gautam clarified that the secretariat meeting could not be held due to the ongoing rift between two chairmen, as it can be convened only with the consensus of the two chairmen as per the party statute. Vice Chairman Gautam said that sincere cadres have been repeatedly warning the top leadership to solve the problems arising from every quarter of the country and not to split the party. Meanwhile, party cadres of the ruling party have manhandled their own leaders in Chitwan. Cadres close to Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli mistreated Standing Committee member Surendra Pandey at a meeting and training program yesterday. A group of 15 to 20 people from outside the committee entered the meeting hall and chanted slogans while leader Pandey was speaking and compelled him to stop addressing the program. As the intra-party dispute of the ruling party has escalated to new height, leader Pandey, who is considered a close associate to the dissident faction, has been blamed of giving false statements against Premier Oli and supporting factionalism within the party. As the novel coronavirus continues its surge, 1,674 new cases of COVID-19 were confirmed in the country yesterday, taking the total number of cases to 218,639. Meanwhile, the COVID-19 death toll in the country has climbed to 1,305 with 7 more deaths reported. The total number of tests through PCR method has crossed over 1.65 million with 8,144 swab samples tested yesterday. According to the Health Ministry, the Federal Capital reported 899 positive cases with 685 new cases reported in Kathmandu district, 165 in Lalitpur and 49 in Bhaktapur. Likewise, 2,323 individuals registered full recovery yesterday, taking the national recovery tally to 193,325, while the recovery rate has climbed to 88.4%. There are over 24,000 active cases in the country with 6,803 corona patients in isolation centers, 17,206 in home isolation and 753 in various quarantine centers. The Health Ministry informed that 47 patients are receiving treatment with ventilator support, while 336 are in intensive care across different hospitals in the country. The National Education Board, contrary to its previous decision, has decided to conduct final exams of grade 11 and 12 amid the coronavirus crisis. The exams for grade 11 are being conducted by different schools and colleges, while that for grade 12 are scheduled to begin from Tuesday. Meanwhile, health experts are concerned regarding the risk of virus spread among and by the students. The grade 11 and 12 examinations that were scheduled to be held around mid-April had been postponed due to the coronavirus pandemic. As the lockdown was eased, the virus tally soared across the country. The National Education Board decided to halt the examination once again and decided to evaluate students based on their performances in their respective schools and colleges. The board decided to do the same with grade 12 students, with 60% of the marks evaluated by the schools and 40% through written examination. There are about 400,000 students in grade 11 and about 433,000 in grade 12 across the country. The Kathmandu Valley has remained the epicenter for coronavirus, with the local level officials urging to reimpose a lockdown. Meanwhile, the National Education Board has stated that there is no alternative to conducting the grade 11 and 12 examination. At a time when the coronavirus infection tally in the capital has surpassed the 1,000 mark, it is deemed unnecessary for students to physically attend the examination halls with the availability of technology. Tanker operators have started adopting newer ways of stealing and adulteration while transporting petroleum products. Even as the Nepal Oil Corporation has installed a locking system in a bid to control the adulteration and theft, such irregularities have continued unabated. The failure by the Nepal Oil Corporation management to take stern action against the perpetrators has encouraged the tanker operators to continue committing such crimes. We have more in this report.
The Nepal Oil Corporation seized 2 tankers of Bir Betal Ashirwad Company from the Thankot depot on Thursday. The corporation had stepped up monitoring based on a tip-off of theft by the owner of the tanker. When the corporation called the technicians of Quality and Measurement Department for testing, it was found that the company's operators Prajwal Rajpat, Sudhin Byanjankar and Dipendra Bahadur Bam had made false chambers for fuel theft in both the tankers. The Nepal Oil Corporation has decided to fine the tanker operators 1.5 million rupees and has revoked their transportation permit as well after it was found that 1,000 litres of fuel was stolen using false chambers while transporting 20,000 litres. The tanker operators have been adopting various new methods for the adulteration and theft of petroleum products despite installing the locking system in tankers some 2.5 years ago. The Nepal Oil Corporation has sought for the help of the Central Investigation Bureau of the Nepal Police for the investigation of such irregularities despite monitoring. Previously, on 15th and 28th of September, such incidents of adulteration and theft were found at the Thankot depot. The driver had fled in the incident of 15th of September, while the tanker owner, Parameshwar Shrestha, was not brought under investigation. Likewise, the tanker used in the theft on 28th of September belonged to Indian national Tejendra Kaur. However, only the driver was taken under control and Kaur was not put under investigation. With the unwillingness of the Nepal Oil Corporation management to take stern action against the perpetrators, tanker owners have been encouraged to carry out such irregularities. When action against the perpetrators was moved forward, entrepreneurs have used political forces to exert pressure. Due to the hesitancy of the corporation and the dominance by the businessmen, the theft and adulteration of petroleum products have continued even after the introduction of the locking system to control the irregularities. The investigation committee of the corporation had recommended action against the guilty businessmen after it was found that kerosene was mixed in the tankers laden with diesel owned by Parameshwar Shrestha, Keshav Kumar Upreti, Kulvir Singh and Purushottam Aryal. However, all the businessmen, including the brother of General Secretary of the Petroleum Dealers Association and Federation of Transportation, Vishnu Aryal, were unexpectedly spared.
In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the locals in Ilam and Sunsari what should be done to make the tourism sector active, which has been badly hampered by the coronavirus crisis. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
Mask sanitizer प्रयोग गरेर चाहिँ यो कोरोनाको संक्रमणको समयमा चाहिँ पर्यटकीय क्षेत्रलाई चलायमान बनाउन सकिन्छ।
सामाजिक दूरी कायम गरेर कोरोनासँग बस्दै पनि यो ठाउँमा हामीले पर्यटकीय क्षेत्रलाई अझ राम्रो रूपमा विस्तार गर्न सकिन्छ।
जनचेतना फैलाएर चाहिँ आउने घुम्ने पर्यटनहरूको लागि चाहिँ एउटा केही सोच्नुपर्ने आवश्यकता देखिन्छ।
सोशल डिस्टेन्स राखेर हुन्छ कि के हुन्छ, अब सबै व्यवस्थापन मिलाएर यसलाई पनि खोल्न जरुरी छ।
यसै बिचमा पनि बाँच्नुपर्ने भएको हुनाले जो पर्यटन व्यवसायीहरू छ, पर्यटनमा चाहिँ भविष्य देख्नेहरू छ, त्यसको लागि हामी जस्तो मान्छेहरूले पनि आइदिने।
पर्यटन विकास बोर्डले पनि ठाउँ ठाउँमा सेनिटाइजरहरू राखिदिएर सहयोग गर्दैमा धेरै राम्रो हुन्छ।
सामाजिक दूरी कायम गरेर, सेनिटाइजर प्रयोग गरेर, मास्क प्रयोग गरेर पर्यटक क्षेत्रहरूमा गएर त्यहाँको अवलोकन भ्रमण गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ।
पर्यटन व्यवसायीहरूले पनि सरकारको मुखमा ताकि आफूले आफ्नो तवरबाट पनि विभिन्न प्याकेजहरू ल्याउनुपर्छ।
पर्यटक व्यवसायहरूलाई मास्क तथा सेनिटाइजरहरू चाहिँ अनिवार्य रूपमा प्रयोगमा ल्याउन लगाउनु पर्यो।
It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question: what is the reason for not controlling adulteration and theft of petroleum products carried out by the transporters? Your options are A. Weak monitoring, B. Result of nexus, and C. Political protection. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And time now for sports update. Tottenham Hotspur produced an excellent performance to beat Manchester City 2-0 and move top of the Premier League late last night. Heung-min Son scored the opener for the home team in the first half at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. After the break, Giovanni Lo Celso found the net to double Tottenham's lead. The result puts Tottenham atop the table with 20 points in 9 matches. Manchester City suffered their second defeat in the league and now sits in the 10th spot with 12 points. Likewise, in another match, Manchester United edged past West Brom 1-0. The decisive goal was scored by Bruno Fernandes off a penalty. Meanwhile, in another match played yesterday evening, Chelsea thumped Newcastle 2-0 to remain in the second position in the league. Moving on, Atletico Madrid moved level on points with La Liga leaders Real Sociedad after beating Barcelona, who are now 9 points adrift of the top 2. Atletico Madrid pulled off their first La Liga win over Barcelona in more than a decade as Yannick Carrasco capitalized on a blunder from Barca's keeper Marc-Andre ter Stegen to secure a 1-0 victory at an empty Wanda Metropolitano late last night. Belgian winger Carrasco broke the deadlock at the end of the first half, pulling off a classy back heel to knock the ball through the legs of ter Stegen and keep his composure in front of goal after the German had charged out of his arena. The result leaves Barcelona 10th in La Liga. They have 11 points from 8 games, 9 behind Sociedad, who are only ahead of Atletico on goals scored, both having the same goal difference, although Atletico have a game in hand. This win continued Atletico's unbeaten start to the season and stretched their unbeaten run to 24 games in all competitions, while it was Barca's third defeat in 8 La Liga games. Meanwhile, defending champion Real Madrid were held to a 1-1 draw by Villarreal, while Sevilla thumped Celta Vigo 4-2. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Disputes flare up between two factions of the ruling NCP at a public program in Chitwan. Party Vice Chairman Bamdev Gautam says party split a normal process. 1,674 new cases of COVID-19 confirmed in the country yesterday. The National Education Board decides to conduct final exams of grade 11 and 12 amid the coronavirus crisis. Transporters adopting various new ways of adulteration and stealing of petroleum products. Irregularities on the rise due to NOC's weak monitoring. And Daniil Medvedev and Dominic Thiem set up a title clash as Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic crash out of the ATP finals. That's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Good day.